That is exciting. Should make sure that this comes up. Yep, there we go. All right. Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Undisputed NASCAR Talk Show with Clay and Brenton. This is going to be a short and quick one. We realized that we've gotten this down to a science, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this as well. The NASCAR season is just over halfway. We're hitting the summer months, the long summer stretch. So we had Chicagoland last Sunday. We're moving to Daytona on this Sunday. Chicago. So it was a bit rainy, and that made it kind of dull. But once the action got going, it was pretty impressive. I don't think our picks really did too well. I got Hamlin at stage 1, so I got a ringer there. And goodness gracious, was Jimmy Johnson close, Clay? So you were close there, but
it's very close.
Yeah. So that was a good race. I mean, the ending was at least pretty good, was it not?
It was very good. I was actually away for the first half of the race, and when I got back, I saw some clips from earlier in the day. It looked like they actually had a thunderstorm roll through the area. The track made the call to get the fans out of the stands because there was some pretty intense lightning in the area. So they had to obviously stop the race for that as well. And then I feel like they had some decent winds and rains come through. Actually tore a couple of the pit boxes up. So I think it blew some car covers off, which got the cars all wet. But overall, I don't think it hurt too much or damaged anything. I don't think anything was hurt, which is more important. But yeah, it looked like once they got the race back underway, it was a decent race. I know Denny Hamlin won stage 1. Who won stage 2? Do you remember?
Stage 2 was Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick, yeah. Okay, so he finally won something this year.
Yes, a couple stages, and that's about it.
Which is ironic because both of them were really not a factor at the end of the race.
No.
Which leads me to my hot and not. Definitely was not a factor at all day. It was Kyle Busch, who was actually my pick to win. Kyle, I know he had some tire troubles at different parts of the day, but he just did not perform at all, particularly for the previous winner and a good driver at Chicagoland. So that was really disappointing. He started 17th and finished 22nd. So made no progress during the day. And ended up losing 5 spots. But my man, Alex Bowman, finally pulled through. And I just got to say, that was he's definitely my hot driver for the week, by the way. But I got to say, that was some really, really nice driving he did at the end of the race. I was talking to someone earlier today, and he and Larson are what this sport needs more of. The last 8-10 laps when Larson would track down Bowman.
Yes.
And he was able to get by Bowman. I thought, all right, well, I guess Bowman's let another one slip away. That's a shame. I really actually felt sorry for him. And I guess he got some determination and his drive built back up, and he just drove right by Larson again. And, one of the things I respected the most about that is that they just raced hard. There was no dirty driving, no bump and run, nothing. It was just good, hard racing. Bowman did touch Larson's back left quarter panel once when he made that final pass, but it was just a little bounce, little beating and banging. There's absolutely no foul play in my book about that. And he went right on by and won the race, and I just really, really excited for him, happy for him. I would have been happy with either driver if they'd won, to be honest with you. But Bowman has had a heck of a lot of pressure on him over the last year and a half. And he's had a lot of derogatory remarks made against him because of his, inability to perform over the last year and a half. I've been a harsh critic of him. I thought, Dale Earnhardt Jr., as popular as he was, Dale Earnhardt Jr. really didn't serve the 88 car too spectacularly.
No.
So Bowman was just pretty much a continuation of the disappointment of the 88 car.
Yeah.
But he's really proven himself over the last couple months. With the string of second place finishes and just really really nice performances each week, and he finally pulled it off. And I gotta admit, it was kind of funny when he hopped out of the car after doing his burnout. Of course, he got stuck in the mud, which was kind of funny.
Yep.
But when he got out of his car, it wasn't excitement, it wasn't joy, it wasn't celebration. The first thought I had in my mind when I saw his face was, that is one relieved driver.
Yeah.
It wasn't excitement, it was relief.
Yep.
So many people have been thinking, is he worth it? And I'm sure he had to even think that himself. There's so many question marks surrounding him, and if he didn't start to perform, was Rick Hendrick even going to keep him much longer? Which, that was something I was really considering as well. And if he continued the way it was, I thought it would be dumb for Rick Hendrick to keep him. But over the last couple of months, he's really proven himself, and now that he's got the win, this is a bold and early prediction, but I think you might see a different Alex Bowman, kind of like when Chase Elliott won his first race last year at Watkins Glen.
Sure.
It just kind of started. Or maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't remember how long ago that was, but when Chase won his first Cup race, that just kind of opened up the door for more and more out of him. And Chase has been pretty good, and I think you'll see a new Alex Bowman as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think with there's two thoughts that came to mind when I was watching the race. At the end there, NBC did not do a very good job, in my opinion, at making a broadcast in that race. And yeah, and the what I was watching versus what was coming out of the announcers' mouths was very different, because I saw Larson only catch Bowman, and this is just what I was watching. Again, like the way I saw the race was, the only reason Larson caught Bowman was because Larson just kept getting just absolutely destroyed in traffic. Like, he was constantly losing time to traffic. He had the faster car, and he obviously proved that because he passed Larson and won. So I don't know what the announcers were talking about, how, they're like, oh, he caught him and he's going to run away with it. No, Larson was doing great. Don't get me wrong. Like I agree. If both had won, either one had won, I would have been happy. But I really did think that Bowman had the faster car. I'm glad he won, and I'm glad he repassed Larson. Again, the only reason Larson caught him was because of traffic. If you go back like 5 laps or 6 laps, when Bowman started getting behind some of those guys who were taking the low line and then taking the high line from him, like, you could just see the gaps, just like he would just lose like 15, 20 car lengths to the guy who he came up on quick. Right. So, and then what's hard is looking at the scenario too, is, to see these two guys fight it out in such a great race. Everybody comments how awesome the race was. It was fantastic. And again, I agree. It's just very interesting because we want to see those outcomes, but that sort of goes to prove that we don't want to see guys like Harvick, guys like Kyle Busch, guys like Jimmy Johnson. We don't want to see them anymore, it seems like. And again, that's just an overarching observation. But in order for some of these young guys to start getting up there, these seasoned and long-term drivers seem to have very bad days for these guys to get up front. So I wouldn't say NASCAR is rigged. I wouldn't say NASCAR has conspiracy theories. But when you look at the day overall and the outcome and how satisfying it was, it's hard to look at the situation and be like, can NASCAR continue with these big-name drivers, or are people literally just going to have to start having really, really bad experiences in order to keep the big guys out from the top 5, top 10, and let the future of the sport grow into it. Maybe that's what this rules package was intending to do, because a lot of these big drivers, Kevin Harvick, I know Kyle's won 4, but he's still not Kyle Busch. I love Kyle Busch. He's my favorite driver, but he will never win championships unless he changes his strategy to start winning stages. It's just Joey Logano is in first in points right now. He will continue to pull away. My hots this week were Alex Bowman, clearly, and Joey Logano, because Joey Logano still walks away first in points. My not list, literally, I wrote everyone else. No one else is doing any good. Like, it's Alex Bowman. He's riding everything that he can right now, and Joey Logano, because he's in first. Everybody else is just doing terrible, in my opinion. So that was what my takeaway was on a week. I'm curious though, because now we have Daytona.
Oh my god, opposite end of the spectrum.
Exactly. So who do you have this week for your picks for Daytona?
Well, I went a little wild with my picks, but then again, Daytona is usually pretty wild.
It really is.
For the pole, I went with a former winner in this race. He's pretty good at plate tracks, and he's won poles before. I believe he's even won one this year. I picked Eric Almirola for the pole.
Yeah, there you go.
For the Coke 0400. Stage 1, I have Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Yes. You are thinking the way I should have thought. That's the way I normally. That is awesome.
Ricky is usually pretty racy at Daytona, but sometimes he wins, sometimes he doesn't. So I have him at stage 1. Stage 2, I'm going to go a little bit more normal at Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski is always a threat at Daytona. So is Joey Logano. But for some reason, I think Brad still has the upper hand at plate tracks. And then for the winner, I actually have Chase Elliott.
Okay.
I see Chase being strong Saturday night, and this is actually more of a want than a think. But I think if anybody could pull it off, Chase would, and I would like him to win too. So he's my pick for winner. And then in my long shot, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but he had a pretty good week not this past week, but the week before at Sonoma. If anybody in the little car camp could win a race, I got my money on Matt DiBenedetto.
Okay, bud. So it's amazing how funny we think alike. My long shot is also Matt DiBenedetto. Yep. Number 95. He can do it.
I could totally see it happening. If he just gets a push close to the end, he can hold his own.
Absolutely. Our stage 2 is also matched up. I have Brad at stage 2. My poll, though, is Logano. I chose Logano because he seems to be winning lots of polls. There's only been like 6 guys who've won polls.
Right.
So Logano's been one of them. Stage 1 is Hamlin. I had good luck with him last week. He did really well. He won, Daytona 500, so he can definitely get around Daytona. At stage 1, and then I have Truex as the winner. I think the Toyotas are fast at the big tracks.
They are.
I'd love to pick Kyle, but I think he's in the summer slump. We'll see him reemerge towards like maybe the playoffs, but I don't know if he's got the momentum right now in the summer to do it, as much as I hate to say that. So that's what I got.
Thing with Kyle is that he's either really good or really bad, but there doesn't seem to be any in between.
Yes, it's so true.
He could be amazing this weekend at Daytona, or he'll get swept up in the first big one.
Yeah,
and limp around the rest of the night.
Yep,
it could really go either way.
It really could, and I'm hoping that it does better than worse. But as being a Kyle Busch fan, that's what you got to deal with. So,
yep.
But let's just hope, as a Chase Elliott fan, for you, that he pulls away with the checkered flag, because that would be awesome.
That would be great.
So, after the notes from Chicago, maybe they'll pass that on to Chase, and Bowman and Chase can get something together. So, awesome. Well, thanks, ladies and gentlemen, for watching this episode of Undisputed, the NASCAR Talk Show with Clay and Brenton. We really appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode.